All right, let's get this party started. So, hi, this is Crypto Mystic welcoming you to Pandora's Box official AMA on this glorious day of September, September 14th to be exact. Thank you for joining us. Today, we will be talking about important team and project updates as usual. And we have a very special guest coming to give us some. Well, he's going to be doing a segment on current events. This is Shane from CryptoPulse. I'll be doing a more formal introduction as I bring him on in a little bit after the announcements. And he's going to present an overview of the latest crypto news and share his insights on and knowledge with you today. As we've mentioned before, and is worth mentioning again, we believe that education is an important key for you to be both successful and safe on your crypto journey. And knowing what's currently happening in the space can help you make better and more informed decisions. So we hope that you enjoy today's segment. And if it's valuable for you, we would like to make this a regular segment in our AMAs. So we'd love to hear from you after today's presentation to see if that's something you'd like. You can just let us know in the main group. And as always, you will have a chance to ask questions to the team. So the first thing I want to mention is that we reached a nice milestone a few days ago. We reached 400 members in our group. Yay! That was very exciting to see. We ended up deleting a few, or removing a few deleted accounts from the group. And so we're back down to right before this call, we were at 398 members. So we'd love to pass the 400 threshold again. So if you have a friend you think would be a good addition to the community, invite them to join us. Send them the link to our Telegram and say, hey, buddy or sister, come on over in this great group. We'd love to welcome them. All right, so let's get to announcements. Miss Joanna, let's start with you, my dear. What updates do you have for us today?
Yeah, so hello everybody. Thank you for being here. As you've seen around, we have been doing some guest AMAs in other channels and other communities as well, not just on Telegram, but on Twitter Spaces. And it seems to be really well received. We have since then offered just the proposals, but also for other communities that are interested in our idea, for us to go to their space and to talk there, basically. And we'll be setting more and more AMAs for the upcoming weeks. And if you know of any project or community that aligns with us, just let us know here or also to DMs or even in the proposal group. We would love to know the suggestions from you. So some now updates from the project. We are approaching different investors, not just single VCs, but also groups of VCs. So what we are doing now at the moment is positioning and strategizing our new message to talk to each specific VCs or groups. That's what we are doing at the moment. Besides that, we have also initiated contact with a legal consultant with a legal consultant to anticipate any threats, but also opportunities that might appear for the technology that we're developing from a legal perspective, so to say.
Thank you so much, Joanna. So this is a time that we'd love to answer any questions that you have. You can type them into the main group, or you can unmute yourself and ask them live on the call here. So let's take a peek here if there are questions in the group. So far, no. Okay, you can always post them as we move to the next segment, and then we can circle back around and take questions after our guest speaker. So We are going to move into that now. And I have the great honor and privilege of introducing to you today Shane from Crypto Pulse. Shane has been an entrepreneur and business owner for over 10 years, including running a brick and mortar fitness facility. In 2021, he helped launch and lead projects through marketing and community management, as well as business development. Shane formed Pulse Digital Marketing after finding others with similar passions for personal growth development. Pulse Digital is designed to help audit and elevate digital products through interactions with their skilled team members. And so, if you know someone who needs, an outside assessment of their processes and products, you can send them to Shane's team, and the website is teampulse.card.co. And so it's teampulse.card, which is spelled CARRD.co. It's also important to note that while he will speak for about 15 minutes today, he does an in-depth weekly recap of current events in his Twitter space on Saturdays at 8 p.m. Central Time, which is 1 p.m. UTC Sundays. So you can find him at twitter.com/cryptopulse9. So, Shane, welcome.
Thank you so much. That was a fantastic introduction. I appreciate you having me here. It's exciting.
Oh, it's our pleasure. We're so excited to hear what you have to say. So what's important for us to know right now?
Well, what is important today? There's only like one thing that everybody's talking about today, because I guess technically now it's tomorrow that they're going to be talking about it too. The Ethereum merge is today. Like, everybody's got their popcorn, right? Are you guys getting together? Where's the local crypto bar? Is anybody going out tonight to why? Is that a thing? Can we go somewhere? Or are you guys sitting at home with your friends on Telegram like I am? The merge is tonight. So I'm looking at the clock right now, and it says 6 hours and 40 minutes based on current hash rate. So that's like a little bit past midnight my time, like maybe 12:30, give or take some fluctuation my time. Is anybody staying up for that?
Oh
Nobody?
yeah.
I
I'm
wasn't
not going.
planning on it, but
I'm
are you
not
guys?
going to. I'm not doing it either. I'm not doing it either. Nothing's like, you know what is funny is it's like staying up for New Year's when no one's there with you. You're gonna be like 3, 2, 1, and we're merged. All right, I'm
That's
going to bed.
right. That's right.
Like, there's
Anticlimactic.
no appreciable change, right? Like, ideally, nothing happens, right? And so I don't know.
If I
But
stay up
that's the
for it,
big
it will
news is
probably
the
be
Ethereum
because of.
merge. Go
Sorry,
ahead, sir.
if I stay up for it, I will probably just stay up to make a short to sell the news event.
Right? That'd be the only reason to see what kind of action comes on the back end of it. That'll probably be the only reason. So the number one news story for me, and I think for everyone today, is the merge. And what I would want to watch is for the last month or more, probably 6 months. But the last month, we've been asking everyone, is the price of the merge baked into Ethereum? And that's something that if anybody here has a strong opinion on that, we've gone over that on the show, myself and Alan and some of the guests that we've had. Shout out to Alan down there and the listeners today. Alan is my co-host on my shows. So we've listened to a lot of people on this one. Does anybody here think that the price could still make some volatility? Like, I think it's like pretty much baked into what's going on. What do you guys think?
I think volatility forward, regardless of anything that is happening, is going to be, yeah, we have to have volatility simply for the CPI numbers coming out now. You have all the like global macroeconomic news that is essentially just slaughtering all over the places. There was some areas in the US that had -11, I saw, on
Right.
the quarter one CPI, which is ridiculous. So volatility, one way or another, it will happen both ways probably, and sideways
Sure.
And
action.
Surian, can you, for those listeners that may not know what CPI means, can you define that?
It's a CPI means that's a consumer price index. I'm sorry, I'm actually not. I met. No, the CPI numbers is in +11, +12 in first quarter, some areas. and it's it's a consumer price index.
Thank you. It's good to, define terms.
So one thing I've been asking people is, do you know anyone who's going to be like excited to buy just because it's switched to proof of stake? And that's a harder question. So number one story is, what are we going to wake up to tomorrow for Ethereum? Is the world going to be a better place just because it's no longer proof of work, or is it life is normal? So that's my number one story. Now, what we do on the show on Saturdays, if any of you like crypto news, what we do is we use decrypt.co. There's a lot of websites that I get news from, like Cointelegraph and CoinDesk and all those other outlets, but I like Decrypt for a lot of my Saturday news. So I've got one or two stories also that I've pulled up from there that I thought maybe some people hadn't heard, because everybody knows the big story is the Ethereum thing. But let's see if either these were being followed. So this one, Alan and I have talked about so much. We had a great laugh about this. The Treasury has announced that they're not going to punish all the celebrities and people who were dusted with Tornado Cash Ethereum. You guys remember they banned Tornado Cash for American citizens, and right out of the gate, some people griefed a bunch of other people by sending cash through Tornado Cash to their accounts, through their unstoppable domains and through their ENS addresses and stuff like that. So the Treasury came out today and made some statements on Tornado Cash, and I thought these were kind of news that if you hadn't heard yet, that were pretty good stuff. So let me read some of this to you, if I may. It says, breaking a month-long silence since banning Ethereum coin mixing tool Tornado Cash, the U.S. Department said on Tuesday that it had announced a path for Tornado Cash users to recover funds, and it also addressed other pressing questions. Now, this is funny. As a privacy security concern, I'm going to read this, and you guys are going to gasp. This is great. The OFAC will provide an avenue for Tornado Cash users to legally withdraw deposited funds from a now blacklisted platform, according to a Tuesday update to the frequently asked questions portion of the website. It says individuals who deposited funds into Tornado Cash prior to August 8th, which is the date the Treasury banned American citizens, will now be able to request a special license from the OFAC that, if granted, would allow them to access and withdraw the funds. Quote, OFAC would have a favorable licensing policy towards such applications, provided that the transaction did not involve other sanctionable conduct, end quote, the Treasury noted today. So who's ready to KYC to the Treasury and tell them what you've been doing on Tornado Cash? Anybody?
Oh my God. Ah!
No, nobody stepping up? That's super weird.
No, thank you.
That's so weird. I can't believe there's not a line.
I'd be happy to I'd be happy to KYC as long as they're willing to accept my mailman's ID.
I just thought this was and then it goes on. There's a lot more to the story. They're offering all this different ways that you can get your money back, and it's just like what are you thinking? Like, who's doing this? I can't imagine it.
Yeah, that's
It's
when
so
the
crazy.
solution is probably worse than the problem,
I know. It's a thorn on a rose, right? It's just like so tempting to be like, oh, maybe I have a clean address and I can fill out this form, and it's like they're never going to leave you alone, bro. Don't do it.
It's a honeypot. It's a honeypot.
Yeah, it's very dubious. So I thought that was a good story because that's something we talked at length when they banned people. The other follow-up here is that the Justice Department also mentioned the idea that the celebrities and accounts that were dusted, that they would not be pursuing any kind of prosecution or criminal action against these accounts, almost insinuating that they could somehow detect that they, if they were dusted or not, like it wouldn't be a big deal. So I don't think a lot of those people were really worried about that. But it's funny that the Justice Department had to even come out and be like, and by the way, we're not going to track you down if somebody dusted you. But more drama from Tornado Cash. That's one story I had pulled up. I know you guys love security, so I just think that if you want to use that as a reference going forward, just remember it could always be worse. You could have to turn in all your documents to the Treasury Department. That's a nightmare.
Yeah, duly noted.
Yeah,
The problem
not
I
a good
see
one.
with them, the problem I see with them not checking the wallets that were dusted, regardless, is that something may have slipped through the cracks, and they're setting a very dangerous precedent there, where they won't check someone's wallet if that
Right.
wallet has been dusted and blocked for Tornado Cash. It
Yeah,
literally, I could
blanks them out.
make. The thing is, I could make a case out of that, It's like, oh, I'm sorry, this wasn't sent from Tornado Cash. It was dusted from a wallet that had like deposits from Tornado Cash. And now, my wallet is being blocked. You should unblock my wallet. Those assets should still be mine,
Sure.
you know? That's
It
a
is.
bloody, bloody road to go down
Well, I
on.
think one of it is just a symptom we've talked about on the show a lot, that there's not enough manpower in any of these agencies that want oversight to actually do half of what needs to be done to regulate anything in the first place. So maybe it's just like the net is going to have holes of a certain size when they go to catch people, and there's just going to be things that slip through. They can't possibly catch it all.
Absolutely. I think one of the core issues that sort of faces this particular topic, and I know I just jumped into chat now. Hi, everyone.
Hi,
The,
Daniel. We've missed you. Welcome back.
thank you. Thank you, Mystic. I've missed me too. Um, so one of the sort of core issues that I've found behind regulation is, as you said, one of them is manpower, and the other is going to have to be feasibility. Now, what I mean by feasibility is that they would have to backtrack records going back from 2010. And whilst it's a feasible task, it's going to seize up massive amounts of government, which means overtime, which means pay, and that means more pressure on the taxpayer if they want to regulate properly. And this is going to be one of those core hilarious issues where people will outcry against the government for raising taxes because they need the money in order to fund this initiative if they go for it. Against, actually focusing on issues that matter at this stage. What I think the main thing they're concerned about is this isn't something they can directly control yet, and I'm very much all for regulation. I think the space should be a little safer, and it opens safe pathways for people to get into crypto, like what Unbox is doing now with their. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to talk about anymore. My brain is a little fried. It's past midnight, but at the end of the day, what they're preparing for is essentially, and pardon the language, a massive clusterfuck of information coming in all at once, which is unverifiable. We still have, for example, those little cards with with seed phrases on it that contained one Bitcoin that people were selling in like 2000 to I think late 2010s for like $5 each. Those are still around. They're completely untraceable. One of those is worth close to $250,000 nowadays, simply because of how rare they are, and for the fact that they are literally wallets that have never been connected to an exchange, but already have assets in them. They are insanely profitable things. Those things can't be regulated for. There will always be money in the space that cannot be regulated. So I agree with you, Shane. I don't think that there is going to be any, and I mean this, any sort of ability for them to catch everything. There are going to be holes, and that's just going to make the job a lot more difficult and a lot more costly to figure out where those holes are coming from.
Yep. And in this situation with Tornado Cash, it just highlights that, because you would think it would be as easy as pie to do that, but they wave it off as if to say it's beneath us. But the reality is they couldn't possibly waste their time. It's not worth it. They got people to send home to their families, and they don't want to pay overtime on stuff like this. It's just not there. So they'll figure it out at some point. Those are just two examples, by the way, because the Ethereum merge and then the Treasury story and stuff like that, of what the show is like on Saturday nights. So we basically do an hour or so, give or take, of news and headlines. We start the show and we let people show up. We do the invites and get tweets pinned and all that stuff. Then we'll roll through about an hour of headlines, pulling from all of the things that happen throughout the week. That's one of the benefits of doing a show weekly, is you get a whole collection of new headlines. And then we have guests come. We'll throughout the week, we'll book guests, find interesting projects, anything cool that's going on, anybody that wants to show up, and we'll hang out for about 2 hours. So if you want to do that, we're also doing them on Reddit. We've been switching back and forth. We've done Twitter Spaces for over a year. Alan and I did 52 weeks in a row without missing a single week, actually. And then
Ooh,
we
nice streak.
Thanks. It was something else. There was a few rough ones to get it done, but 52 in a row back when they first started. But we switched to Reddit Talks recently, because I think Reddit Talks is going to be an important platform, and I got access to use it as a speaker over there. So this week, it's very likely that we would be on Reddit. So you can check us out over there. My username is u/broken overdrive, username/broken overdrive over there. So catch me on Twitter. You guys have seen the links to that. Catch me on Reddit, and we do the show over there. And I appreciate you guys having the highlight over here. You already talked a little bit about Team Pulse, so I won't go crazy into it. But if you need community stimulus, such as like, conversations like this, that's kind of what we do. If your Discord needs cleaned up, if your Telegram needs moderation, or if you need like help, we got a guy that does a good job of like getting projects, check marks, and listings and stuff like that. Just all that stuff. Check out the website. See if there's something we can do for you or someone you know. So there's the Team Pulse spiel. I appreciate you guys' time. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so
very
much, Shane.
as well. I also
Very,
wanted to give you a shout out back. I've joined a few of your spaces, and I always come out of there richer in knowledge around what is happening in the space. It's we need those pearls around.
Thank you.
Yes, and you've also welcomed us as to highlight what we're doing here at Pandora's Box, and so thank you for that. That's always appreciated as well. So it's good. Thank you. So I'm going to open it up again to the community. If you have any questions for the team or for Jane, Ganyo, I don't know if I want to give you the mic today. I don't know if I'm feeling it.
That's the best time to give me the mic. You know that's the absolute best time to give me the mic, Mystic. Anyway.
All right. What do you got? What do you got for Surian? Surian, you ready to get grilled?
Oh, no, Mystic. You can't be passing this off to Surian. No, this one's for you. Just for trying to
my goddess.
just for trying to drag
No,
Surian
you're
into
making me
this,
sweat.
right?
I asked for it, honestly. It's my fault. Okay. I own this. All right, what's up?
Okay. Yeah, you kind of brought this on yourself, unfortunately. You've got absolutely no defense on this. How dare you try to drag Surian into this? I wasn't even planning to go for him, I'll be honest. I wasn't even planning to
Well, we got to
what
change
am I gonna
things
say
up a
then?
little
Right.
bit. We got to change it up a little bit.
I
Vary
know.
it.
I can't just go for the kill with Surian every single time because Viking jumps in and defends him, and I'm sure he'd do that for the rest of the team as well. But
Viking, you're ready. I might need your help here. So get ready to unmute yourself.
I'm still sort of reeling. I'm sort of reeling from the fact that you had the balls to sort of just throw Surian out like a martyr there. God damn. Genuinely impressed.
My God. This is awesome.
Considering the direction of this conversation, I don't know how this slipped my schedule, but I do have a dentist appointment. Anyways.
Thank you, Viking. I do hope
that was a joke. You can laugh. It's okay.
I mean, no, that wasn't a joke. I was just going to say, I do hope your dentist appointment goes well and your teeth are still sparkly white by the end of it. Right. So you had Pulse Digital Marketing in here. What's the relationship between you and Pulse, and how do you see that moving forward in the future?
Oh, okay. Well, the relationship, like I mentioned, so they've had us on their space where we've been able to promote Unbox and share about the project there, and they are now here. And we've considered, if this was a valuable segment for the community, consider to have Shane come and do segments on a regular basis to give them exposure and all that. But the relationship with Shane and Team Pulse, I didn't originate this relationship. It was already in place when I came along. Because you have to remember, I'm a little newer to the crypto space, but the guys have been in this space for a lot longer, so they've had more relationships. So right now it's a good exchange of kind of like sharing each other's, stage swap essentially at the moment. And that's as far as we've gone. But certainly we
I'll
can
take a shot
deepen.
at that, Ganyo, if you don't mind, Mystic.
Thank you. That please,
Let me
Shane.
let me do a more Hollywood style version of that. Okay, Ganyo, are you ready? All right, so like we're gonna crack an old book open here. Like let's look back in the book of how the hell I got here. Okay, so Kedrick and Olo were my original connection to being here. You probably know those guys. I appreciate those guys, and then Surian as well. They started coming to my spaces a long time ago. We met in a couple of other projects previously and had been running around together. So what linked us up originally was just that we were all crypto degens and we knew each other through some of that stuff. And the guys that make up Team Pulse, we all run around together in the same circles. We have a lot of project devs and other marketers and stuff like that. So being in those Twitter spaces all the time, we got to know what was going on over here. So what a lot of people would avoid is they're asking, I think when people say, what's the relationship yet? Some people are asking us like, hey, have you paid this asshole to be over here? And the answer is no, I was not paid to be here yet at all. I'm just hanging out for free and for fun today because Surian asked, and there's a good group of people over here from what I've met. And I'm just interested in helping out for now. But like she said, going forward, there would be opportunity both for Team Pulse if it was necessary at certain times to step in and help if the funds were there and the community needed it. I never say no to stuff like that. But right now, I'm just here hanging out, and that's my story. If that makes sense.
Yeah, thank you, Shane. I appreciate you jumping in there. Thank you for sort of telling me where this is going. I just need to put this down in my planning sheet for Unbox. But apart from that, I jumped in a little late, so I didn't really know what was going on. I just came in because I saw an AMA was happening, and I saw Surian's profile pic, and God knows I never miss a chance, do I? Right.
I knew it would eventually lead back to Surian, so.
Yeah, okay. I'll lay off from you Mystic, because fair enough. What I'm gonna go into next is a little more on the crypto side, and this isn't really a fair question to ask you, so I will just ask the Unbox team as a whole.
Okay.
How do you feel that the Ethereum merge will affect the chances of you potentially moving over to Ethereum for the original token?
So far as I understand the merge, it will not affect too much, as most of the bridges I've been paying attention to is already ready for the merger. I yeah, I there was a question asked here earlier by Shane. What do you think will be the change by tomorrow? And that is even like there's two options as I see. Either it's a failed launch, which has happened a few times before, or you have the second one, which is it runs smoothly and there is no change. On another note, quite a lot of the team, and I'm speaking for myself, but I think a few other will agree with me on the team, is that Ethereum is not necessarily the first network we are looking to move into, simply because of centralization aspects. And yeah, especially now after mergers, there is some aspects that we are not fully on par with. Do we say that we're not going there at all? No, not at all. I do see us having our token over there as well.
Okay, thank you for that answer. I am quite conscious that I'll be hugging most of the time, and I want this to end quite evenly. So I will end my questions there. If anybody else has any, then, feel free to put it to the team. But the next time I have an opportunity, I will be here for the duration of the AMA from the beginning, so I can write up a absolutely hellish list that is going to keep either Sorian or Viking here for at least 3 to 4 hours.
It's in 2 weeks, so put it in your calendar.
Okay, 2 weeks from the date, I'm gonna need a specific time. I'm gonna
Sure.
seriously, I'm gonna take like a day off, and then I'm just going to ask you what's the topic of it in like a
Sure.
DM or something, and then I'm
Okay.
going to go off and research and just find as many problems as I can, just to be that guy.
Sounds just like Ganyo. There's our Ganyo.
It's a
I'm so
beautiful
glad.
challenge.
I am so glad I have that reputation with you guys. And honestly, Viking, please don't consider it a challenge. As I said, well, as Shane said, I'm gonna be that asshole in chat. Shane, I don't think you're an asshole at all. You seem like a very nice chap to me. But yeah, as always, I'm really, really excited by what's coming up, and I'm really, really confident in the team as well. I think no matter what questions I come up with, Viking will always be there to protect Surian, and that's just the adorable bit about you guys. No, it's true though. You're a team that has very, very strong fundamentals, not only in the industry but with each other. And I think at the end of the day, that's really what's going to carry you through. So yeah, no more questions on my part.
Thank you, Ganyo,
Oh, man, thank you.
having you. And just, we never know what's going to come out of your mouth, which is the interesting part. So.
That's a very nice way to put I am an extremely random, extremely strange person. But yes, thank you.
Well, no, but it's good you're keeping us on our toes, which we actually appreciate. It makes things more fun, engaging, and lively. So, brilliant. So does anybody else have any questions? Any questions in the main group at the moment? No? Okay, awesome. Anyone here on the chat wants to ask a question? No
Actually, I've got
takers?
one just
You
because
got
it
one?
popped up in my head. Yeah.
Sure.
So Surian's going to be in the next meeting. It's not really a question, just more of a promise from the team. Don't make him a martyr this time. If I'm absolutely going to go, I'm absolutely going to go for everybody. I promise that. It's not just going to be him, it's everybody. And by then we should have had one of our classic meetings for that thing that I can't really talk about yet. But that's going to give me a very good understanding of, well, who is going to be answering what questions and who I can direct them to. So
Yes.
everybody's on the firing range next time, I think.
Brilliant.
Damn it.
Yes. Speaking
I
of
mean,
that,
brilliant, yes.
we'll finalize our meeting for tomorrow in our private chat. So we definitely want to get with you tomorrow. Fantastic. All right. I don't think there are any other questions at the moment, so we can wrap it up. I want to thank everyone for being here, particularly Shane from Team Pulse with Alan. Alan, we didn't hear you, but you were here, so thank you for coming. Thank you to the team, of course. As always, thank you, Joanna, Surian, Viking. We had Freya on the team. We have, I think I saw Chris popped up a little bit earlier. So thank you all for being here. And of course, Ganyo, for your questions and your sense of humor. And every one of you listening, either live today with us or to the recording, being part of our community, we so appreciate you being on this wild ride with us. And we look forward to speaking with you in 2 weeks on the 28th, and we'll announce the date, not the date, the exact time, a little closer to the time, so that we can, we want to vary for allowing people in different time zones to join us. So it may not be at this exact time, but we'll let you know ahead of time. So thank you so much. Until next time, stay brilliant. Ciao, ciao.